So today's the day that we've been waiting for 3 days because of weather. So we're in Les Houches, or Les Houches if you don't know how to pronounce French. And we're at the tourist information office because we just charged up. And I gotta throw away my sandals because they're done. And we got some boots on, which kind of suck. But we got crampons, ice axe, and we're gonna go up Mont Blanc. So we're gonna be taking the Gouter route. We're gonna be doing over 2 days. So today's gonna be a very, very, very short day, but like 800 meters in elevation. And then tomorrow is gonna be the big day push, where we're gonna tag the top of France on its Independence Day. So let's do it, y'all. Come with us. There's Mont Blanc over there in the clouds. And we are going up from Les Houches. I'm gonna walk up to the cable car today, maybe a little bit further, and then do from the cable car all the way to the top tomorrow. So the trail just goes up ski slopes, which, to be honest with you, kind of sucks. So I've taken off the boots, going barefoot because it's just destroying my heels. I need my feet to be in tip-top shape for tomorrow, so I'm not going to get blisters on my heels, so I'm just going to barefoot it for the last 1 point whatever some K. In hindsight, I'd take the cable car to Bellevue, because I mean there's no view of the mountain, there's nothing, it's just 800 meters of ski slopes. Yeah, finally some views. I'm at 1,750 meters. Finally getting Mont Blanc views. But that ain't our peak. Our peak's over there. Finally got some views. So we found a camp spot. Our trail goes up around to the right of that peak. I just had to go find some water real quick, and I'm walking back to the campsite where Galileo is. Gonna eat some dinner. We're probably gonna leave at 3 to 4 a.m. It's probably our departure time. And yeah, go from there. It's 3:30 in the morning, and we've started, at least I've started, going up. It's 2,900 meters and 12K, so let's do it, y'all. There's Chamonix, there's the moon, Venus, and you can see, you probably can't, but there's some lights up there. Those are people making the summit. Now the scramble begins. That's a gilly midi, that's a building that a train goes up to. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. There's the Gouter or Gouter route hut, and there's another hut there, which I'm gonna have some coffee at. We got stopped by Mountain Brigade asking for our permit. You need a permit to stay up here. We ain't staying, so we don't need a permit. Higher and higher, baby. There's the Tête de Rouge. There's the Gouter at 3,200 meters. I guess we're supposed to be using crampons right now, but doesn't seem that hard. There's our trail there. There's the Gouter hut 500 meters above us. This very small avalanche chute is a common place for injuries, generally from falling rocks. It is known amongst all climbers that you should move very quickly through this section. How are you doing, Galileo?
Oh, so far so good. That ain't too bad.
There's the Gouter. We're just following this ridge. This is kind of the shady spot, I guess. After that hut, it should just be all ice, which should be easier, I guess. At this point, the audio and the wind picked up, so I've cut the audio. This is us arriving at the Gouter hut. From Tête Rouge up to the Gouter, we've had our crampons on with our boots. It was definitely needed in this section. We stopped into the Gouter hut to have a coffee. At this point, it was on and off wind, but the gusts were pretty intense. At the Gouter hut, 4.2 from the top, 1,000 meters. After leaving the Gouter hut, the wind really picked up. We have to do some switchbacks that gets us up to the top of that ridge, which I thought at the time was the summit. These three people were a group of Polish that were some of the last people to go up. Slowly making our way up. There's more people going down at this point than there are going up. It's very late in the afternoon. This is when I realize that there's more to go up. Very disappointed. 4,300 some change right now. It's windy and get out. Taking a little break. This is taking a lot longer than anticipated, but there's a rescue that That was the Velo hut, which is an emergency hut at 4,400 meters. A gentleman had an altitude sickness and had to be helicoptered out along with one friend. We ended up securing both of those beds later at the Gouter hut. There it is, boys. Second 7 summit. Yeehaw. Take that, French Independence Day. Take that, Via Alpina. Walked across the whole Alps. You gotta tag the high spot. We summited at 3:37 p.m. So we made it safely down from the peak, and we came to the Gouter hut, which is an eco-efficient hut, and was lucky enough to score 2 beds. I'm beat. My eyes are beat. My legs are beat. My feet are beat. That mountain kicked my butt.
and it was €276 for 2 beds, 2 dinners. But my body's gonna thank me regardless, so it is what it is.
So I wanted to talk about my summit for Mont Blanc and what I would have done differently. So I would have carried some type of hiking shoe with me, because the boots that we rented were, I mean, they're good gear, but they're not meant for me, so it kind of destroyed my feet. Yeah, rental gear, I mean, the ice axe was good, wasn't long enough for me. So if you have your own gear, bring your own gear, or get sized appropriately for your gear. I would have definitely rented a helmet if I were to do it again. We did it over 3 days, 2 nights. We camped near Bellevue train station / cable car. I would skip that section and take the train or the cable car to Bellevue, then hike to Tête Rouge, and they have tents there. I would maybe stayed in a tent, and then I would have left all my gear there the following morning and push up for the summit so I could go light. From there, from Tête Rouge, you definitely need crampons and stuff like that, so that would be the time to have your boots and your crampons. But before that, really didn't need them, and it just hurt my feet. So I would definitely do that different. I was a little unprepared mentally, not physically. It's probably the best shape of my life in these moments, because I already had 1,500 kilometers underneath my feet. So those are the things that I would do differently. Things to note: water situation. So there isn't, I mean, you have glaciers, so there is water coming down, but there wasn't too many places that you could get it. It was kind of hit or miss. So water was €9 for 1.5 liter at the Tête Rouge refuge, and it also was the same at the Gouter refuge. You definitely need to respect the mountain. It's pretty gnarly. The knife's edge is pretty rough. We were up there in 100 kilometer per hour winds, and it would have been nice to have an ice axe that was sized for me, but it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, just realize it's a 7 summit. The scramble is a proper scramble. Hands. You had a lot of metal things in place, cables and stuff like that were necessary. So know that you're getting yourself into something pretty cool and pretty gnarly at the same time. And I kind of went in without any knowledge of it. My friend Galileo had a little bit more than me, and I'm kind of glad I didn't know, because I may have backed out, but I didn't. I summited on Bastille Day, which is French Independence Day, which is pretty cool, you know. And I essentially did a sea to summit from the Adriatic Sea all the way to the top of Europe, the long way. Now I'm going back to the sea. It's a long way, but it was super cool. I know Galileo wants to have some input on this as well. He may repeat some of the same stuff that I did, but I feel like it's important for him to voice his opinion. So we'll see what he has to say.
All right, hello, good morning. I'm recording this little video about Mont Blanc for Cavs and his YouTube video. I wanted to briefly talk about my experience and the things I would do differently on the mountain, off the mountain, and how I would prepare differently for the trip. First things first, Mont Blanc was one of my goals for spending my time in Europe, and as far as I was concerned, there was nothing that was going to stop me from getting up to the top of that mountain. And so when Cavs and I rolled into Chamonix, right off of trail, I was pretty determined and ready to go. We went to the mountain hut and we got a weather report for the week, and it looked like it was bad for the next few days, and so we laid low. And eventually, when the weather cleared, we decided to do our push to the summit from the valley. Now, I believe Les Houches, which is your starting point, starts at about 800 meters, and the summit is obviously 4,800. So you have a 4,000 meter climb, and it's unforgiving. It's a tough climb. It's a brutal mountain. I'll be the first to say that I absolutely underestimated it. Cavs and I decided to do it on very minimal gear, so we had crampons, an axe, and some very crappy boots. And that's the first point that I would change or do differently, is that if you're going to rent gear, expect it to not fit perfectly. Expect it to be uncomfortable. Expect it to give you blisters. Expect it to not be top of the line. So keep that in mind. I would highly recommend, especially things that you're going to be wearing, like your boots, just buy a pair that fits and that's comfortable. Secondly, and this was something that really upset me and was not told to us at all by the mountain hut, which they're the ones that are trafficking the mountain, or anyone else, any guides or anything like that, is that the water situation on the mountain. Now, as you climb up, you're going to pass a few creeks below the first hut, Tête la Rouche, I believe. And you can get water from those, it's coming from the glacier, it's perfectly fine. But above that, the only water sources come from the huts. That's the Tête la Rouche and the Gouter hut. The Gouter hut is at 3,800 meters, and yeah, there's no running water. I don't know if that was for this, the water was for the staff or for the guests, I don't know. But you need to either be prepared to spend the €9 on 1.5 liters of water, or somehow be able to melt your own snow. So be very prepared to either be dehydrated or bring 50, 60 euro to spend simply on water at the huts. And on that note, hydrate the day before. I did not. I was dehydrated going up, thinking I could just hydrate at the huts. So hydrate before you make your climb. Besides that, I would say wear trail runners or wear some comfortable trail runners, hiking shoes, something like that on the climb up before you get to glacier. I mean, half the climb is just a normal trail pretty much. Bring a helmet. That was something that we didn't have, and there was the crux of the route, if you will. It's a small rockfall section that's fairly steep up the Gouter route, and yeah, bring a helmet. That's a good call. Just play it safe. You guys want to see a bird? Look at that. Where'd he go? Hi, bud. I'm up here on Rainier right now. I'm doing some rope work before I climb in a few days. So yeah. Anyhow, other than that, I'm incredibly proud of Cavs that toughed it out with me to the top. That was an incredible summit, and it was a hell of a way to end my trip on the Via Alpina and hiking in the Alps. Yeah, I would say overall it was a good experience. We were pretty beat coming down off the mountain. You know, we had tried to do it in a single push from bottom to top and then back to bottom, and this was just unrealistic for us. Even though we were in some of the greatest shape of our lives, it was it was a little ambitious, we'll put it that way. So we spent the night at the Gouter hut, and we got incredibly lucky with a room. That's a final point, actually. Don't expect any availability at the rooms, at the huts. If you go up there without a reservation, expect to either get down the same day or spend the night on the snow. So, yeah. Other than that, it's a beautiful mountain, it's a beautiful place. I would do it again, maybe a little more safer, but besides that, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad Kaz was there with me. So, cheers, Galileo, out.